really excited. I'm bringing you my new talk show and podcast.
What's up, everyone? You are tuned in tonight to Unfiltered with Faith Adorne, and I'm about ready to unfilter you tonight. I'm your host, Faith Adorne, and this is episode 12. We have a great show tonight. It's my segment, Entrepreneur Journey of Success, and we have the perfect guest in here tonight. Y'all know how the routine is. Every week, I always come with whatever resources that I may have, and I bring information in regards to individuals that may want to start their podcast. So this week I don't have any resources. I always bring like the job information or housing information. So today I don't have anything, but we still have a great segment. We don't have an artist this week. I have an artist coming back next Thursday. And we're here every Thursday at 9 p.m. streaming on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. And I just want to thank all my platforms. I appreciate the platform to be able to stream live. But my special guest tonight, she is a author, a speaker, an entrepreneur, human rights advocate, and so much more. Let's give her a shout out. Her name is Troya Bishop.
Hi, everybody.
So how you doing tonight, Troya?
I am wonderful. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. First, I would like
Good.
to thank you for coming on my platform. You have so much stuff going on, and you've accomplished so much. So I can't wait to be able to
I do.
interview you. I have different followers that maybe want to write a book or just get some information in
Okay.
regards to the different platforms that you do, like the human rights advocate, so we can speak about that. And you're an entrepreneur, so I know you're on a journey to success. So I just want to grace my platform and tell you thank you. Everybody that's watching me on
Thank you.
Instagram, please head over to YouTube or either the Facebook page where you can see the lovely guests that I have tonight. And you can go to Unfiltered with Faith Adorne. Thank you so much. So other than that, so how's everything? How was your day?
Everything is wonderful. Well, thank you so much for having me. I'm really happy to be here. And my friends and my followers are happy that, I was having another chance to share. So thank you for having me. I really appreciate the opportunity.
I can't wait to hear about this book. Like you have a lot of different books, but I guess the one that kind of stood out for me was your first book, and then you have the life doesn't have to be perfect to be wonderful.
Yes.
You have the answers to intimacy, so I can't wait for that.
Yes.
And I know you have another book also. I have everything down. But first, let me go ahead and get into the show. Again, thank you for tuning in. You are tuned in to Unfiltered with Faith Adorne. We're going to have a good show tonight. We're going to have fun. So I always talk to people that they inbox me about interested in starting their own podcast. And first, let me just say, step out on faith. It's so many different things that you can blog about having your own podcast. I'm with Anchor, and it's free. So I would say download the app. It's so many different advantages of being with Anchor. Just ask yourself a couple questions before you start. And when you do start, I think my only issue that I have for myself is that I waited too long to start. I should have been took took stepped out on faith and started my podcast. So that's the only thing that I wish I would have been able to do.
Hmm.
I procrastinated a little bit, and we all procrastinate at
I know
times.
that's right.
Right, we're human. You have so much going on in your life because I still work
Yeah.
a 9 to 5, but I have, I want to be a successful entrepreneur. So when I get off work, I'm going to my second gig, which is my platform, my podcast. So
Right.
dealing with my clients. So
Right.
my day doesn't stop until maybe like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. But when you really want to be an entrepreneur, it's too many hours in a day. I'm here with you with
That's
it.
right.
So to my followers that's tuned in tonight, the new followers that's tuned in tonight on all the different platforms, step out on faith. It's a couple questions you may want to ask yourself. Why do you want to start a podcast? Let me tell you why I want to start a podcast. I want to start a podcast and have my own show because I love connecting everyone. I love
Hmm.
using my resources for
That's
other
very
people
true.
so they can get ahead. I love meeting new people, and I've met so many new special guests that have so many different things going on, different walks of life. So that was intriguing for me. I'm a lifestyle liaison, so it made sense for me to have a platform where I'm connecting people. Where if my resources or my guests can help someone that's watching, I'm all for it. You
Hmm.
just and then you want to get started. The cool thing is being with Anchor, you don't need a studio. You just need like a microphone, like what I mean, a headphone set, and you have your laptop, and you can actually download every show and upload it to Anchor the same night. You can do it from your cell phone. That's
Mm.
what's so cool. So you don't have to go to a studio where you feel like you have to spend the money. um, Again, Anchor is free. And another good thing about Anchor, they give you a free platform. So if you don't have the finances to have your own website, Anchor gives you a platform which is like a landing page, and it's very professional. It's really pretty. So you can kind of pick your own layout and put your own information, like the synopsis of your podcast. Um, Also, write down what story you want to tell. What type listeners you want to target,
Right.
and then just make it fun. Make it fun. You can still be serious. I do the entrepreneur journey of success three, maybe sometimes 2 to 3 times out the month. My last Thursday is my unfiltered with spicy topics, and that's where it gets really spicy about relationship, intimacy.
What?
We
What?
just different type of topics and stuff like that. So other than that, step out on faith. If you're a hairstylist, if you are a makeup artist, if an author, just like how Troya is an author, she's a best-selling author. You can blog and start your podcast about that, interviewing other authors. Um, I can't wait to become an author. I've wrote so many different short stories that I just been procrastinating. I haven't.
Yay! That's
Troy, you're gonna
wonderful.
get me. I just have not. Okay, everything I've done is copywritten, but I have not published it. And every time I get
Okay.
ready to drop the book, I get like, maybe it could be better, and I stop, and I just gotta just go ahead and just drop it because I have so many
Drop it
short
like it's hot.
stories.
Drop
I,
it like it's hot.
I've been
Drop it
writing
like
them
it's hot.
since
Drop it like it's hot.
2010, and I have so many different short stories, and I just need to drop them. And what I've done, I've also pitched them to different networks as a trailer, a pilot, but I've
Hmm.
also wrote them as a short story, also. So I wrote them as short stories, short series,
Wow, that's awesome.
book, and I haven't done nothing with them, but I'm so excited to interview someone like yourself that's so successful within this and have made such like movement with it. So to my followers that's watching, she's coming with the resources tonight. She's done it. She's completed it. She stepped out on faith. So you need to talk to her.
No,
Y'all
listen,
need
you just
follow
got to
her.
do it. And then if people read it and be like, girl, you spelled the word wrong, just go back and change it. Just
No,
do
like
it.
I even
Don't just do
Troy,
it.
you if you was beside me, you'd be like, "Oh, Faith." I have someone that did the proofreading and everything.
Okay.
Everything is perfect right now. But I'm reading it like, should I change it? I've changed it twice, so I'm paying having to, get all that done. So I'm gonna go ahead and do it. I said I was gonna do it at the end of this month, so I might go ahead and do it. I might just say,
I'm
just
gonna
go.
call you every day and ask you if you've done it now that you've
I
told me
oh,
that.
yeah, I need that.
I'm
Like
gonna harass you.
I need that. I'm not afraid of it. But anyway, I'm so glad you guys are here. Um, so we're going to also talk about the segment tonight. The segment tonight is in regards to it's called Entrepreneur Journey to Success. And being an entrepreneur is not easy. And you think about just having to work a 9 to 5 and stepping out on faith, whether you are a promoter, whether you are author like Troya or a lifestyle liaison and a podcaster like myself, we're all risk takers because we're investing in ourselves, and it doesn't happen overnight. You think about Tyler Perry, how he went so hard, and what it took maybe like 18 years for him to
Took a
have
long
his big
time.
break, or longer than that.
Yeah.
So with many, roadblocks way before it happened, and look how he's so wealthy right now and gives back. So, you guys, being an entrepreneur, it's a journey. What would you say, Troya?
It absolutely is a journey, and you just have the best way to do it is just do it. You have to just get started and just trust the process, and just remember that you know, is you don't see the whole picture when
Right,
you start. You just see your foot. You see the first step. So just take the first step, and then the next step, and then the next step. And if you fail, which you will, it
right,
is inevitable. You will. And if you're like me, then you will fail and make mistakes over and over and over again. Just don't
right,
make the same mistake the same way.
right.
Just keep learning from it, and just get better and get better and get better. And you won't have the same opportunities that everybody else has.
You
Because
don't.
people ask me a lot, well, how come you're not doing national TV? Because I don't have national sponsors, and I don't have $1 million book deal. All I
Right.
had was $2 in my little computer. And I made happen what I could make happen, and I'm just doing what I can with what I have. And I'm thankful for
I
that. And I'm
love it.
thankful for the lives that I've been able to touch with, what I've been able to do. And when God is ready to prosper me, He will. But in the time being, I got to be faithful over what He gave me and just keep going. And so, you got to do the same thing. Don't be complacent. Just do it.
Just do it. Just do it. So let me ask you a question. What motivated you and inspired you to become an author? And what inspired you to write your
Um,
first book?
I always wanted to write, and I really loved writing. And so, a lot of people don't know, I actually wrote my very first book in 2008, but I didn't put it out
I missed
because,
that one because I got went all the way back to 2016.
well, yeah, I didn't put it out because I got really bad reviews from people that I really respect. And I was like, I was heartbroken, I was crushed. So it wasn't until 2016 that some of the same stuff that I wrote about in 2008, I actually remixed it a little bit and finally put it out. But just because it's your ideas, your thoughts, your beliefs, and then for me personally, my doctoral research, and it's
Mhm.
my truth. It is my truth, my true authentic self. It doesn't mean
Mhm.
that other people are gonna like it, and that other people won't
That is
just tear
true.
it apart. So, if God gave it to you, it's for you to say and share. And so, in my inspiration was, I have always been. I'm rooted in the movement for civil rights and for justice for Black people. And so my experiences from that, and just being Black in America, and being Black at Howard and living in DC at a time when
Right.
this is when they were really trying to stockpile the prison system. And when those
Okay.
laws first changed in 94 and 95, that made it illegal for somebody to have drugs in your home. And if they did, you could lose it. And we were like, well, where are all these laws coming from? What are they trying to do? Everybody Black is going to be in prison if they're doing that, because people live
Right.
together. And guess what? That's exactly what they did. That was the intention
Yeah,
of it,
that's
and
what I
that's
was
what
just
they
gonna
did.
say. To break
Yep,
the household down, to break the strong households down, and like you
yep,
said, people living with other people don't have nothing to do with it. You could be renting a
exactly.
room because, and then this thing now, the economy is so much
Yep.
higher, like than it was back then. Like it's just getting. It's like it's not getting better. Is it trying to get better? So with that book, your first, well, I know you say you didn't publish that book in 2008, but the one that you published in 2016, that was
Mhm.
about racism. Can
Right.
you,
So it was a culmination of all of that, and just those experiences, just being Black, my Blackness, my doctoral research, all of that. And at the time I had just opened 2012, I opened a 501c3 community service organization called Parental Empowerment Institute. And we Mike Brown murder was in 2015, and then here in Atlanta we have had so many that happened. Trayvon Martin was 2012, but we had so
Right.
many that was up to that I was kind of like the key liaison from working with Al Sharpton's National Action Network. And
Okay.
so all of that experience and people calling me saying, what do I say to my kid about racism? What do I say? So I was like, okay, let me
It's
just put this in the
scary.
book. I appreciated the respects and people looking at me as an expert. And I was like, okay, let me use my expertise since people are coming to me and put it in the book. So that's what I did.
That
And
was
people liked
smart.
it. Yeah.
So, question: what is the name of your book, and where can people purchase that book? And uh, if you can give us a synopsis of the book too.
Okay, that one is the answers, a parent's guide to discussing racism with children,
Okay.
and it's a book and a workbook. And in the book and in the workbook, it's a guide with definitions, vocabulary, and just different things to really help you uncover what you really think and what you believe. Because we all
Mhm.
have biases. Some of them we are aware
Mhm.
of, some of them we aren't aware of. You don't even know why you feel the way you feel
Mhm.
about people who look a certain way, because we just never really thought to ask ourselves, why do I think this? And
Right.
so the book and the workbook helps you to do that. And if you don't have children, the other book, The Answers Discussing and Defeating Racism in America, that's for anybody who really says, okay, I understand that racism is an issue. Where do I begin? What is my part? What is my role? It's massive. How can I do something? And it gives you the tools to really be able to uncover what you can do in your community to really address the become an anti-racist and address the issue. Because just because you're black don't mean that you're anti-racist. We see Clarence Thomas, we see so many other people in our communities who love to bash black women and who love to
Mhm.
uphold racism, especially you see it so much in school systems. The school to prison pipeline is real, and a lot
Right.
of black people are key in helping it to thrive because they are not anti-racist. They just black with a
Right.
job, and they gonna step and fetch and tap dance for massa, and they gonna get that check. So
Right.
but those projects teach you how to really be forward thinking and intentional with your behavior and with your actions, even on that good job you got.
Right.
You can still be
Oh,
anti-racist and help black folks at the same time.
no. Right. You said a mouthful, and you are right with that. You're right. This is what I want to do because I see we have some viewers on my different platforms. I want to let everyone know who I'm interviewing tonight. She has a lot going on, so I'm going to show you guys. You can find her on Instagram. So I'm going to show a quick clip. But then, Troya, I know I want to discuss your other books.
Okay,
And then also, I want to discuss some politics with you because I
let's
know
do
you're
it.
an advocate with that too.
Okay,
And but for right now, let me let everyone know who they are watching tonight.
okay.
And again, everyone, this is an author, speaker, entrepreneur, human rights advocate. Congratulations, Troya Bishop, on all your accomplishments.
Thank you. Love that.
Thank you. I'm gonna stop it right there because
All right.
the website we're gonna talk about that later, but it's just going. You know, the good thing about we're entrepreneurs, so we have to do everything on our own.
Yes.
So I'm the
Amen to that.
producer, the executive producer, the script writer, the
Yes.
supervisor, the host. So yes, so let's talk about it. Let's everything that I
Okay.
just displayed there. I see the book in regards on the racism. Like, how was your reviews with that? Like, that's really inspirational to see that you accomplished that. Like, that's so
Yeah.
meaningful. I think about, like, I have my mentor. His name is Mr. Nathan, and he's actually Nathan Knight, and
Hmm.
he's the president of SCLC, Southern Christian Leadership Conference. He's going to be coming on my platform, and he's always fighting for voting rights, equality, and the fight is still going on. He actually uh used to he met Martin Luther King back when he was like 11 years old.
Oh wow.
Right. So he's been a part of the movement way before me and you was even thought about. and just his movement, just thinking about how he's still involved with politics. I mean, just just fighting for just our equality, just having equal rights for everyone up within African American and just people of color. It's an ongoing fight. So tell us about that also. What you have going on, being an advocate with that.
Um, yeah, like you said, it's an ongoing fight. Mr. Knight, I've known for years, and it's been really nice having people who are rooted in the movement, like Dr. Slaughter, Dr. F. Keith Slaughter, who's been in the movement for a long time and who's always on the front lines here, especially fighting for reparations on the national level. But having people like that to say that they appreciated the work and that they share it and encourage people using it. And
Hmm.
the what a lot of people don't know is that the book The Answers to Intimacy is also a book about racism. It's a book about how racism affects every single thing in your life, including what happens in your bedroom, including who you choose as a partner and how y'all relate and don't relate to one another. Racism, what you've experienced and what they experience, is a part of that. And
Right.
as Black people, we have been conditioned and socialized to believe that it's not that bad. It just happened a long time ago. That was just slavery. And
I
first of
think
all,
that people know that's not true. Because
um,
I look at my grandchild, she's 6 years old, right?
mhm,
And she's such a sweetheart. Like, she's so innocent. And she's always hi, she speaks, she's very dainty. Hi,
yes,
hi, she's not aware of it, what's going on. And when we look at the
mhm,
news of what's going on, I'm like, it seems worse now than when I was a kid, because and when I was growing up, because it was hidden. You knew it existed, but it was like more people was more respectful. Now you hear about so much stuff on the news and just things that are happening with the younger generation, the younger youth, where you're 5 and 6 years old, what they're experiencing and within the school system and everything. It's like, okay, I don't want to have this talk, but am I gonna have to
you
have this talk with
have to
her?
have it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm always telling her to be alert, because she's very smart. She's very smart. She's very
Mhm.
intelligent. And she's, questions, well, why? And it breaks your heart, because you like, okay, we can all get along. So,
Right.
and when I think about Mr. Nathan, he's always out there
Mhm.
regardless. He's always out there, involved out there. And when you think about how he's so involved, it's like intriguing, it's like so special, because that's what he thinks, that when he's even sleep, when he's awoke, is how to make a change in everyone's life, in regards to everyone just having the same opportunities. So how do you feel about that and your walk with everything?
Yeah, you have to always look for opportunities to promote the liberation for Black people. It's always appropriate. It always is an appropriate topic. But the reason why we've seen a huge uptick in people saying, "Oh, well, you can't talk about it," is because what we were doing was working. So especially in different spaces where I have a chance to speak to advocates and other activists, and I don't know who's watching and how your followers feel, but the Black Lives Matter movement was working. It did work, because what we really wanted to do was to force people to see how policies and politics really directly affected Black people and took away rights and dehumanized us in many, many ways. And so it worked. And we're going to keep pushing a lot of the same
Amen.
stuff, and we're going to keep pushing on every level, local, state, federal, for reparations and for freedom for people who are locked up. There's so many people who always say Black people need to do this and Black people need to do that.
But then when they do it, the other, people that are not of color do it, is, oh, it seemed like, are they getting like a snap on the hand, and it's
Well, yeah,
different.
but especially when you're talking about politics and people saying what Black people need to do, most of the people who are willing to say that out of their mouths and have the conversation have never studied the Black Panthers. They don't know who Dr. Huey Newton is and all those other brilliant brothers that ran the Black Panthers. They don't understand the politics that went into that. They don't understand even like brother Sundiata, who 49 years ago, because he was a Black Panther and in the politics that he was involved
So
in.
that's who
Yes,
I
he was
seen you
in
post
prison
something. He's gonna come
49
home.
years. Yes, and he should, even according to the regular rules and the laws of the United States Constitution, he should have been at least out according to their laws at least 25 years ago.
So I
Same thing.
seen where you posted he's coming home as ruling today. So is he
Yes.
released today or is he home now
No, they
or
made the ruling yesterday, so he'll be processed out and eventually released. We're praying, of course, that they won't murder him or assassinate him before that time comes. That's always a risk
he's
that
85
you
years
run.
old?
He's then they don't give a shit. They devils. They've been devils. They was devils then. They devils now, and they was devils when they kept them locked up 49 years. I mean, and just to be really honest with you and transparent, it was I really had a moment because at the same time, people in the movement who've done a lot of work, we're like, yay, he's coming home. We're all excited. And then at the same time, you're like, he coming home. 49 years after he was in prison for something that he should have never been in prison for. First of all, he spent 2.5 years in prison and didn't even get a trial. They didn't even ask him nothing.
So no lawyer could have got him a trial?
No, and that's what a lot of people don't understand when they're saying what black people
I'm
need to do.
confused right now.
Yeah,
So I thought you have to
yeah.
have a trial.
And that's what a lot of people thought. And it's so funny you said that because when we were down at the prison in Savannah when they killed Troy Davis, who of course he was on death row, and there was so much evidence that he wasn't the person that committed the murder, who murdered a Savannah police officer. But there was a young white attorney, and he was just just excited because he went to Harvard and he was going to show us, and he wasn't condescending, but he was just like, I know the law. So they're not going to execute him because of this, and this. And this is the law, and here's the Constitution. And we was like, boo-boo, these is devils, and they white, and they don't care. And they racist, and they mamas, their granddaddies used to own people, and they are evil. And sure enough, they killed that man. And I have never seen a young guy cry like he did. That man sobbed. Because what happens is a lot of people, just kind of like you asked that question, but a lot of people don't have the experience and understand that the law applies in very different ways to very different people, depending on how you look. And that's just the truth. And he had to learn that truth that day. And it was hard for him because it was kind of like his world came tumbling down. He spent all these years in law school learning all this stuff about law and really thought he knew something. And then everything that he thought he knew was wrong. But this is America. We're going to keep working, trying to make it the best that it can actually be, and just hopefully it'll be better.
I mean,
when we leave than when we came.
I'm a little like caught off guard because, just listening to you and just your walk. And first, I want to say to my new viewers that's coming, the good thing about my platform, this is everyone's opinion and perspective. So I give everyone the platform to be able to voice their opinion and their perspective respectfully of how they feel about different situations that they went through. That's not all people. All people are not, bad, are not evil, but this is Troya's perspective, and we do everything respectful because this is dealing with her experiences. And I'm just applied to know that someone can sit for that many years. I always thought because, it's a court system that they have to give you, I don't know this side, so it's intriguing to talk to someone to say, no, you got it all wrong, like, because I'm listening to you. No, you don't. He didn't have a trial, and there's a lot of people that can go years without a trial. I thought you, with a good attorney, they have to give you a trial. Like,
They fought for him to get one. He eventually got one. I think like after the third year, he eventually got one, and then still eventually got a bad sentence, and still eventually after he did his sentence and should have been released on parole, they still wouldn't release him. We have the same thing with Mutulu Shakur. Mutulu is the stepfather of Tupac Shakur that we heard him talk about in different in different music. Now he was supposed to be out 20 years ago. And then as recently as 3 years ago, he did every single thing that they said he was supposed to do, and he's still not released. But they moved him unexpectedly from California to Kentucky to make it a little bit harder for organizers to organize. They did it for whatever reason. But they do it. Or is it legal? No. Some people consider it kidnapping, and So a lot of times
Wow.
what we do as organizers, which is what Dr. King did, but a lot of people don't know because they don't teach that. It's not in the history books. But what they actually did with SCLC was went to the United Nations. The United Nations is who really actually put feet to the fire for the United States and say, hey, listen, you're trying to go around and be the police of democracy and of justice for everybody else around the world. And look at how you're treating your own people in the United States. That's how a lot of stuff actually started to, and waves were being made in the United States. And while protesting was big and important, because that was the first time when people were actually seeing what was going on. They had never actually seen it before. So with
Right.
the invention of the camera and new technology back in the 50s, that's when people were able to actually see internationally what was happening here and call the United States
Worldwide
to
and
the
stuff like
table.
that, because there's the
Right.
cameras showing it.
Exactly. But even now, I mean, when I was still with National Action Network, people would call and say, well, hey, can I see you my paperwork? My date has come and gone for my release date. I'm still locked up. So, and because you have to remember, everybody don't have family that go to prison. So in a lot of 85 to 90% of the people who are in prison are there for something that's nonviolent.
I'm gonna connect you with um I just had uh a special guest on my platform a couple weeks ago. I believe it was maybe like I forgot which episode that was. His name is Original Michael, and
Okay.
he works with the court system. I think you
Nice.
guys connecting together would be very good because a lot of men that come home from prison, they need housing. So he has the housing,
Right.
right? So I think you guys would kind of be in cahoots and could work together to make a difference. Because
Yeah.
what made me think about that is when you said a lot of people that gets incarcerated don't have family, and
Right.
that's a really big issue. Because what happens is if they don't have family or if they don't have resources like Original Michael, where he
Hmm.
has the different houses that they need the address, they can go get in
Right.
the houses, get back into rehabilitation.
Right.
It's a lack of leadership for that.
Right.
So
I would love
basically,
to connect with him.
I'm gonna most definitely connect you with him. And he actually has a platform every Monday, Troya.
Nice.
It's at a building where it's at a location where just different high profile people, whether it's
Hmm.
attorneys or just people that advocates like yourself, and they go there and they network and they're all trying to make a difference. Because I will say this, all people aren't bad. All people of color aren't bad. All Caucasian people aren't bad.
I could agree with
It's
that.
everyone, it's just like bad. I guess I don't know if it's bad seeds or whatever, but all we can just do is do what you're doing, playing your part because you're playing and I give you your flowers because
Thank
I
you.
didn't know you were very like really you're really involved with that. So I
Yeah.
give you your flowers now
Thank
on
you.
Unfiltered with Faith Adorne. I give you your flowers because you're really involved with trying to make a difference. And with Original, I think he would be a good asset for you because I see you doing a lot of stuff within the prisons and with people coming home and if they need an
Yes.
address and trying to get back into society because he helps them get jobs. He's connected with different companies that help them get jobs. So they're not lost because I'm going to let you know what you already know, but our viewers might not know. But to piggyback off what you said, when a lot of men come, a lot of whether they're men or women or whoever they are, however they classify when they are released from prison or jail, if they don't have family, majority of them go homeless. So when they
Right.
don't know someone like Original that can help them get back in society, because I do agree, I do believe that everyone should be able to get another chance to,
Yeah.
because
But even before that, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I just feel like everyone should have another opportunity to change. Some people make mistakes. It's not what they wanted. Some people just do it because maybe I can't say everybody is bad, but
Yeah,
whether you,
everybody's not bad, but most people
yeah,
believe like you do, Faith. They think that people should have a second chance. But unfortunately, the prison industrial system was created directly from the the I want to say the 13th Amendment that actually quote unquote
right,
freed black people. But what it did was created a system and that said directly that you only can be a slave if you were also a criminal. That's what the Constitution says. So they had
Mm.
to create a way. And if
You
you
just
go,
gave me some knowledge, girl. Take me to
yeah,
school.
if you go to the Smithsonian and actually read the records for actually the debates, because remember it's the House and the Senate, they were having a debate on how are we going to make sure that people still get the money that they were supposed to be getting. And that's what slavery ending, that really, that's what the real debate was about. Well, we have
Mm.
built this robust economy in the United States. How can we continue to keep the economy going and not bankrupt ourselves as a nation? So the compromise was, we will stop bringing in more slaves, stop robbing Africa, stealing human beings,
Uh-huh.
and had to make criminals. Now there were no criminals, so the rest of what we're
That's when they
experiencing now,
started flooding, as they say, they flooded the black communities with.
right? And that's what has to do with them not letting people out, because like I was saying earlier, people, once you get a sentence, you go to prison, whether it's state prison or federal prison, you have what's called a release date. And you know what your release date is. You're supposed to actually get out on that date. Let's just say it's October 24th, 1976. I was in prison before then. That's today's date, and I'm supposed to
Right.
get out. Well, a lot of times that day can come and go, and it's 6 months later, you still there.
Right, I've talked to,
So
like how original said, some people might get lost in the system, and if they don't have their family or advocates like yourself or
exactly.
original or just different advocates, whether like it's Mr. Nathan, to fight for them, they're lost in the system. No one
Right.
cares
Well,
because they don't have anyone to
yeah, they
do
ain't
it.
lost. Those people, they make about $80,000 to $90,000 per person
No, no,
at
no.
a
What I'm saying
minimum.
is they're lost in the system because they have nobody to
Right, right,
fight
right.
for them to come
Yeah,
out. Like, we
yeah,
know the prison system, they making lots of money behind every one person. But
exactly.
when you don't have a significant other or a family member, and then you think about family, a lot of family is not the way close the way it used to be. And if
Right, right,
someone
right.
is incarcerated and they don't have no one to speak for them on the outside, when they are finally released, uh, that's where original comes in. They're homeless.
Yeah,
Majority of a lot of people that are homeless right now, they might have just got released from prison and had nowhere to go, nowhere to stay. All they had was maybe the $30 or $60 they got released from prison or jail with, and their clothes on their back.
yeah.
And
It's really unfortunate.
it's good to know that you're here to be an advocate like that. So I give you your flowers the same way I always give
Thank
Mr.
you.
Nathan the flowers. And
Now I
I guess
will say, Faith, I did ask God to give me a really sexy passion for something else, but why He gave me prison that I'm passionate about, I don't know.
no,
But
I do. I know. That's your calling. And when I tell you you're passionate about it, I can look in when you're talking to me, I can look in your eyes. I can look the way you speak articulate about it.
okay,
You know what you're talking about. Like, you have some people that might, you have to learn. Like with me, that's why, Mr. Nathan, he's my mentor. I'm still learning. I'm a baby boomer with it, but I'm really intrigued. I really want to passionate to know. You know your stuff, Troya. You know. And that's good when you think about it. You can't just step in this lane
that's
and don't know
true.
what you're talking about. Because if you don't know what you're talking about in this lane where you at, someone else is going to shut you down because you're speaking not correct
Yeah.
with the information. So it's a lot. It's a lot. So okay, just to fast forward a little bit more,
Okay.
I know we did just talk about the politics. I want to piggyback off that, but the hour goes by so fast, and I've seen it, Troya. I've been on my episode sometimes, and me and my guests will be going in 2 hours,
Oh wow.
and I would have to say, wait a minute, it's an hour and 40. The show ends at 10 o'clock, or it'd be like 10:30, 10:45, and because the dialogue is so good and we
Yeah,
get thrown off. So but I want to make sure I catch everything that you have going on.
I got you.
Let's talk about your book. I want to know about the answers to intimacy.
Okay.
Let's get unfiltered with that.
Okay, well let's get unfiltered. So it was so what happened was I was doing tours for the other book, The Answers to Racism,
Okay.
and discussing and defeating racism in America. And as I continue to go on tour, doing workshops and podcasts, and well, at the time I was doing a lot of live events.
Hmm.
The one thing that kept coming up was relationships, and so people were asking different questions. And because I had
Hello? So you guys, if she's watching, I think her internet froze up, but she'll be back. Troya, I can see you, but you're freezing up right now. Troya. Okay, she'll be back.
Are you
Okay,
there?
I'm here. I'm
Okay.
not going
I don't know
anywhere.
where
I'm right here.
he is.
I said her internet is freezing up. Girl, that bandwidth sometime be something else.
Oh
Let
wow.
me tell
Okay.
you, we're gonna go back to your book, but let me tell you, my first launch was on February 19th. And the location that I used, the bandwidth wasn't that good.
Mhm.
So what you just did, I had got to the point where when I tell you the first episode, which was the launch party, everything went well. We did so many runs. So what just
Mhm.
happened with you, it happened with me with the bandwidth, internet. And the whole time on YouTube and Facebook, when I'm listening to me, everybody
Uh-huh.
was like like the whole time.
Oh
And I remember
wow.
shout out KB Butler. He's my business partner. KB Butler. He was rest in peace DMX. He was his road manager. And I
Okay.
was like, I'm just gonna delete it, the negative feedback. And he was like, I see it. He said, no, you're not. You're
Yeah.
gonna leave it up there because the bad comes with the good.
Right.
And this wasn't you. This is the location.
Right.
And it was so many people. Like I really packed the house. Like the launch supposed to be only for like no more than 2 hours. We didn't leave out there till like 1:30 in the morning. And it started at 8
Wow.
p.m. So
Okay.
everyone came out and showed out for me. So, you know, when you just froze up, I said, I ain't going nowhere. I'm going to sit right here and wait for her to come back because I know she's coming back.
Okay.
But it comes with the territory, we're
It
streaming,
does. It does. So
you
yeah,
know.
what happened? People's kept asking me questions about what the intersectionality was, and I really didn't know. So I just took some time and did some research, and what I came out with was a book. And it's kind of stuff that when you think about it, and when people read about it in the book, that's why it really is a bestseller. And people are like, that make a lot of sense, but I never thought about it. But so in a nutshell, we were stolen from a whole nother country, and the trauma of kidnapping you have never ever heard in your whole life until you read this book. I mean, not in terms of black people and how it affects us in relationships. And you haven't heard the trauma of rape, the trauma of being separated from people that you love,
The
the
babies
trauma,
being separated from their parents and stuff like
right?
that in
All of that
cases.
stuff is embedded in your DNA. That's scientific. That's not just my thought. That's not just how I feel. That's scientific. And that's how it actually that's how it goes. And so if we don't take time to really sit down, identify that, and go through real therapy to say, okay, what happened to me? Let me really reflect. Let
And
me
I'm an
think.
advocate on therapy. A
I am
lot of
too.
people,
Absolutely.
a lot of our individuals within colors, some people they have their issues where they think, well, we're not going to therapy. They think it's a bad thing, but I'm an advocate. You got
Yes.
anxiety just because, and shout out because it's May. So
Yes.
you're dealing with mental health issues. It's awareness month. So shout out to everyone. This is the month. Um, I'm an advocate with therapy. So I can see someone using your book because I'm gonna just say this right quick. It's funny.
Okay.
When I first, that's why I told you in the beginning, never judge a book by its cover. So I didn't know that your book was the synopsis of what you just spoke about. The
Yes.
average person is not thinking that it's covering racism and just it's different dialogues, different, topics within the book. I was like, oh, I love the name. And,
Right.
immediately you're thinking, okay, you think about intimacy and you think about sex and like, okay,
Yes.
which one is which one is better, which one is not. And then as I got to doing more
Yes.
research about your book, I was on. It's crazy because I had just it was, I think it was maybe
Yes.
like Sunday, and I was just sitting. I was drinking a cup of coffee, and I was like, wait a minute. I just threw the paperwork. Just go ahead with your bad self. don't judge a book by its cover. This is something totally different when I went
Yes,
and started doing my research
yes,
on a book and you. And I was
right.
like, wow, like it's covering racism and just different scenarios within a book. So
Right, because what we forget too is that if rape is in your DNA, and we know that, um, how powerful and powerless you feel, and really what happens in your sex starts and ends in your mind.
okay.
And what you do, what you experience, begins and ends in your mind. And if that wasn't true, then you would never have to connect with anybody else, because you could do pleasure by yourself, men and women. That's a
Right.
fact. That's not how I feel about it. That's just a fact. And so, with that being true, for men, especially black men, to fast forward into how they experience pleasure, for most black men, they do not have the opportunity to feel powerful,
Right.
because they always have an opportunity to see their women get treated wrong at work, kids get treated wrong at school, your vote don't count. They get treated wrong at work if they can get a job, and they know they work hard, but that too is ingrained in their minds and in the DNA, because that's happened for generations. And whose great
Yeah.
great granddaddy sat down with a therapist? Nobody. And
No,
whose daddy
no,
sat
not
down with a
even
therapist?
when I think about, God bless my mother. So like that generation, you think about so many people that had anxiety, was probably would have been diagnosed with bipolar and just different mental health issues. They would have been diagnosed back in the 90s, but we didn't talk about it. You thought
Right.
about, no, if I'm going
Exactly.
to therapy, I'm crazy
Exactly.
or something like that. Now,
Exactly.
as I got mature and I got, wiser and older and just got educated, I'm like, I have friends that I talk to. I'm like, listen, go to therapy.
Yes.
Go to
Yes. You
therapy.
got to
Like,
do
it's
therapy.
so good to be able to talk to someone that don't know you, that's not judging you. Like,
Yes.
go to therapy because anxiety is real.
Absolutely.
Social anxiety is real.
Yes.
And it's
Absolutely.
so many individuals that are introverts that, like with me, no, I was like, you seem like you're so easy to talk to. No, I'm an introvert. I've always been an introvert. I had to train myself to be an extrovert because I had a passion to be able to do what I'm doing now. And if I'd have stayed in that little cuddle of being an introvert, where would I be? Because no one around me was able to speak the way I wanted them to speak. So I
Mm-hmm.
had to teach myself, you got to step out on faith. You got to go, not be
Right.
afraid to talk to this person
Right.
because, you know, because you want to be, an introvert. So I can get out of it. I'm a chameleonaire. I can get out of it when I need to. But for real, I'm okay
Awesome.
with working at home. And if I don't have to go out, I don't have to go out unless it's something that's important for me to go out. I'm okay. And that's how
Right.
introverts are. And you have, but I handle mines because I stay in my Bible. I
Okay.
stay within my scriptures, and I know that regardless of what, I want to be a good person. I don't care who.
Yeah.
I want to be known for being a good person,
Right.
and just giving back. I don't want to be known for just doing fucked up shit or just being a bad person.
Right. Right.
People
Right.
can say whatever they want to say, but at the end of the day, you people know the truth.
Right.
Your character is everything, and that's why you have the
Absolutely.
defamation and the slander now. And I'm an advocate with all that, because if you don't have anything else, you have your character is
That's
what
right.
that's
Yeah.
really important. And I have friends that are going through, and just associates that are going through different things, and I'm gonna let them know about your book. And I think, like, whenever if you put together a event, let me know so I can come with my friends to come out and we can
I would
support
love
you.
to.
Yes, and just if you're gonna do a book read or anything, because where you can do different highlights, I think you should do different highlights because this is big when you think about mental illness. And our
Yes.
parents didn't have it. I know my parent, and you look at just different individuals, like they would probably look how many people might have passed away.
Right. Well, we actually are going to do just that. That was the reasoning behind the Marry Me Mondays. Because what I was finding out, and I meet a lot of. I am single, but I meet a lot of really,
Me
really
too.
great men. And so,
Yes.
but I know a lot of great single women. And I was like, they need a place to meet. But after I was thinking, and some of them kind of, met a little bit beforehand, before the first Marry Me Monday. I did some introductions on social media, but I was thinking I really wanted to be as intentional as possible, because
Right.
what I want to make sure happens is that people who have really been reflective about their parents' relationship, um,
Right.
their own personal trauma from childhood, how they
Yeah.
do relate to each other and to themselves, whether it's their sexuality, are they sex positive, or are they different about sex, all those kinds of things. Because a lot of times when
Plays
people
a
are talking,
part.
yeah, when people are talking about relationships, a lot of times they just say, "Oh, my ex was crazy," or he was a cheater, or but they don't go really deep into what the actual root of
People
the that
dealing with a lot
problem
of
is.
trauma. So that,
Right.
and listen to all my viewers that's tuned in. Let me show you what Mary. Okay, well, wait a minute. Okay, there you go. This is author and entrepreneur Troya Bishop. This is her website. It's called Marry Me Monday. You guys, you need to tune in with this, and this is what she's talking about right now.
Can I talk while it's playing?
Hmm. They can hear
Okay.
you.
So what I was gonna say is that it's the we came up with a name because it's not something that nobody is actually getting married on a Monday, but we came up with the name because it is an intentional space in person where people can meet, but it's specifically for people who really want to meet people with the intention of dating, and dating for something serious like marriage. So we knew it would be off-putting for people who want to be quote unquote a player. This is not
Right.
for players. And this is not to say if you were
This is for mature people, grown
right,
people
this
that
for
know
mature people.
grown people.
But if you want 10 wives, that's fine. This is just not
You
this is
ain't
your crowd.
judging.
Yeah, this ain't your crowd. We're not judging. Do your thing, but this just ain't where we at. So this is just for people who are looking for one person for the rest of their life to kind of build and to grow with. And
I
so
just
that's
had
what
to
we're
talk
doing.
to someone that I know was a young lady reached out to me, and she was just talking about just in regards to Atlanta and just her past relationships, and she was just like, I don't feel like I feel like because she's been through a lot. I said, let me explain something to you. My last relationship, it was I didn't see it coming. I said, but I would not say that. I think Atlanta is a great place. I think it's a lot of good men here. I
Yeah.
said, well, I think you need to separate yourself from whoever you're talking to that's just giving you just negative vibes. Right now, take this time to love yourself, work on yourself.
Right.
And if you're gonna go hang out and just be approachable, but still be safe because the world is different right now. But I think it's a lot of good men in Atlanta, and I think it's a lot of good women in Atlanta. And I
There
told her, I
are.
said, don't go in your next relationship talking about, don't let your new relationship, even if y'all just having a good time, please don't go in there talking about what your last person did because it's some
Yeah.
fucked up men and it's some fucked up women. I said,
Very true.
so let's not just say it's all men and let's not say it's all women. I said, but
Right, right.
I don't feel like I don't want to go in a new relationship or even just a friendship talking about my this is what happened because I still even right now, the history we had, he's still a good I feel like he's still a good person, just
Hmm.
not for me.
Right.
It's just not for me. And I've had people like, let's go out, I want to move, let's see what we could do. No, 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 I'm not ready. So
Yeah.
I'm not ready. I want to take this time. I'm enjoying my space where I'm at right now. I come from a household of married. My father and my mother was married.
Nice.
My sister's married, but it's just not me. I'm not ready right now. I want to be married, but I don't want to be married two and three times. And when I think
Yeah.
about like I was engaged twice.
Okay.
Just think, if I'd have got married, I'd have been married twice. I want to be
Yeah.
married one time, and if things don't go right, I'm just like, listen, we're going to counseling because I believe in therapy. We
Yeah.
we got to fix this.
Yeah.
So I'm just enjoying myself right now. But I tell my friends, if this is what you want to do, take your time. Don't move too fast.
Yeah. Do your
Build up
thing.
yourself right now. Find someone that that makes you happy. With me, I love to laugh.
Yeah.
I like to be happy. I like to have fun. I'm very spontaneous. And I don't want to be with no one that's boring, like, because I'm very spontaneous. So I can't wait to see what your site is about. And I've told some
I'm
friends about
glad.
this site. So, and I love that the fact that it's for mature people.
Yes.
You're not judging anyone. So what inspired you to create this platform?
Well, I knew people. A lot of people were asking for it, and even like my sister that I love, she's approached by a lot of people, but she doesn't necessarily always like those people. But she does want to date, and she does want to marry, but she
Right.
will not date online. I made her the most bomb profile on Black People Meet, and she wouldn't use it.
I have never done that. Like, I remember, like, I
It's
just,
fun.
you know what? I've never, I remember when what was it? What was the thing back in the day? Everybody was doing like,
eHarmony.
I don't know. No, it wasn't that. I forgot. It's been so long. We're talking about
Oh,
like
Black
years.
Planet.
I don't even know if that was it. It's been so long. I remember like a friend said, like, I'm going up there. I was just like, I've never had to go on a dating site to find anyone. Like, I've always,
Okay.
like, I just because I'm approachable, or I've never had a problem meeting a man, or
Yeah.
like, you know, being with one, being loved. But because I guess I know what I want out of a relationship.
Yeah.
I do want to get married, but I want to make sure it's right, because I want to grow old. I want to grow old with my significant other. And when I looked at your site, it caught my eye, because I'm like, Marry
Okay.
Me Monday, that stands out. It's something different. But
Yeah.
I've never been on the site. I have friends that do it, but I'm like, it's too many crazy people out there.
Yeah, and online dating, I mean, it can be challenging. A lot of people are intimidated about it. I personally like meeting new people. So I love meeting people. I'm a people person and I like hot wings. So yeah, it's great for me.
Let me
And the
tell you, I
funniest
got a
thing,
spot in Piedmont. They got some bombing lemon pepper wings, hot wings. Oh
hey,
my
text me
God.
the address.
I'm
But
going to text you the
but
address.
but I mean it's fine to be single and I wasn't clear when I first put it out there because certain people were like, well, I already know you. Can I date you now? And I was like, no, I'm not one of the people dating. I like you, Faith. I'm not ready to date right now, especially not for something serious. And even like when I was online dating, all of the people that I dated, like I met good
Right.
guys, they always ended up getting married. And like we friends, we cool. But I just wasn't ready. Um, so and I'm still not. I know exactly what I'm looking for. And even if I
I
meet
do
somebody
too.
good, if he's not what I want, then that's not what I want. So and
Right.
if he
It
don't
got to be
come, I'm fine with
someone.
that.
Right. And it's crazy because I like space. I'm weird. Like,
Are
I
you a
like
Scorpio?
space. No, I'm not a Scorpio with
I'm
my
one of
kids.
those I need space people. I'm a Scorpio.
I need space. So I would want to be with someone that like, I'm okay with giving, if it gets to the point, space. Like, I don't
Yeah.
know, I just don't want to be like, I want us to have our own careers, and
Yeah.
I want to be able to support my significant other, want him to support my dreams, and I support his dreams. And let's do it, because we live one time, we
Yeah.
die one time.
Right, right,
And I
right.
want to live my life. I
I
want
know
to
that's
live my
right.
life, and I have not accomplished a lot of things that I want to accomplish. So when I be with someone, I want this person to be like, you know what, go for it. Be my cheerleader, because I'm gonna be his cheerleader. Because I'm gonna say one thing, and you think about, it's hard for us of color, with and even with our African American men, you know, like I tell my friend, like, if you dating someone, lift them up,
Yeah.
motivate them, you know and you want someone to motivate you also. I don't want to be with
Right.
someone that is just being selfish, where they constantly need me to lift them up, but they're not
Right.
lifting me up.
Exactly. Well, in the book, we talk about how much trauma you go through, and what we need specifically as African American people is compassion. And so often we don't necessarily, we're not always thoughtful in terms of really bringing an unlimited amount of compassion, because people talk about love and communicating, but you really do need
No,
to be, I call it compassionating. You have to be ultimately just go above and beyond with compassion for that person until you really understand their story, what their trauma is, what their triggers are, and you really know how to love and
know
support
what
that
they
person,
like, know what they
know
and
what they
that's what
like.
I
Yeah.
think also. Like, I think that's why I've always had long-term relationships, because I'm gonna get here. I want to get mental first before we
Right.
do anything else. I want to know what you like, what you don't like, what will you accept, what you want to accept, because you need to know what I like and what I don't like. You're
Exactly.
gonna need to know I want space. I'm okay with space. Don't think I'm doing something. I just want space.
Right.
And I'm very passionate about being an entrepreneur. I'm very passionate about I want to be successful within my field of my like with podcasting or just within
Yeah.
the entertainment, and I want to be able to like I give back a lot. So I want to be with someone that loves to give back because I give back, I donate a lot. So we
Right.
have to be compatible where and I love to be with someone that's a thinker,
Oh yeah.
a critical thinker,
Gotta
someone
stimulate
that,
the mind.
yeah, and so what may work for me may not work for the next person,
Right. And to
but
wrap
I'm
it up, because I
content.
know we're I'm sorry, I know this is like right at time, but all
Yes,
of that stuff
yes.
that you said, like for each chapter in the book, there's a workbook. So I encourage people go through it with your partner, with your significant other. Talk about your trauma. Talk about what listening means to you. Talk about your love languages. Talk about your parents' relationship and how that affects you now. And all those things are really important. And I really appreciate.
It's very
Yeah.
important. So let me ask you, let's before we close out the show,
Okay.
your other book that you have, Life Doesn't Have to Be Perfect to Be Wonderful. What's
Yes.
the synopsis behind that, and what inspired you to write that book?
Well, a lot of people were because I married in 2001 and divorced in 2010, I think. So I've been married and divorced and have been, but most people who know me now since the advent of social media think that I've never been married and I've never been through anything. And they're like, oh, we always
People
happy
think
and
they know everything because they
we
see.
just
Some people
smiling.
think they know you because they see you on social media. Just like
Yeah.
I have to tell a lot of different individuals that come into my DM, they think because they think they know you, and I have to tell people, yo, sweetie, this is not Tinder. This is not
Right.
Tinder.
Right.
I'm okay where I'm at, and they be getting upset with me.
Yeah. What you mean you don't want to go out
You
with
don't
me,
want to
Shotty?
eat. You ain't got to eat. No, I do want to eat, but I'm okay. Let's keep it
That's
on social
funny.
media,
But yeah,
But
people were asking me what I did, and how did you bounce back, and what did because I just said, well, let me just put this in the book too, and hopefully that'll really help people. And that one is selling, but not like the other one. So, but
now I
it
know that intimacy is
yeah,
selling.
there's a way to get back up and to trust again, to love again, to be happy. And the funny thing is I think people just kind of are who they are. Before I married my ex-husband, I was a very happy person. When I was married, I was a very happy person. When we got divorced, I was a
You
very
was
happy person.
happy.
I
So you
am
was
who
able
I
to get
am.
your mojo back. You was able to find yourself
Yeah,
again. I'm happy that you was able to not be so sour behind it and get back to
absolutely.
you and how you wrote the book and be able to put your journey. So how was it getting back to you? Was it a long journey, or did you have a lot of positive people around you to motivate you and to talk
um
life in you?
Not really. But and I think and I had a lot of bad relationships that I had seen modeled. And so but I had to own that because I saw what I saw, I lived what I lived. That's my lived experience. That's my truth. And so I just had to figure it out. And the key is just keep going, Don't give up, keep going. I know it sounds simple, but put one foot in front of the other and just be determined
No,
to
it
be
is
happy.
simple
Yeah,
because you
happiness is
can't
a choice.
change it. You can't change what happened. So
It is
just
what it,
listen to
it
your
is what
journey.
it
It is
is.
what it is. It's sad to say. Some people might take it wrong, but it is what it is. I'm just
Yeah,
glad because I like talking to people. Just because we've had bad experiences, don't take it into that second relationship because
that's
everyone
right.
is not bad. Like
Right.
everyone is not bad. So we are. It's 10:04 right now. I want to let everyone know you have been tuned in with Unfiltered with Faith Adorne. I'm your host, Faith Adorne. You will be seeing me back here next Thursday. I have another great episode going on, a great show next Thursday, as you know, every Thursday at 9 p.m. Tonight, I want to shout out my special guest, who is an author, a speaker, entrepreneur, human rights advocate. And y'all make sure y'all go follow her. Let me give you this her information. Make sure you follow her at Troya Bishop on IG and Facebook. I'm actually going to put it in the link for everyone to go follow her, support her. She's an entrepreneur. Before we end this segment tonight, let my viewers know, like, how is it being an entrepreneur for you, and what's your journey, and what motivation can you give someone?
Um, if that's what you want to do, find somebody that's doing it that you think is doing it well, and see what they did. Do some research and do your homework first, and then go ahead and do it. If you already have a 9 to 5 job, definitely use your 9 to 5 to jumpstart your 5 to 10. Look for
Hmm.
different things that you can actually use in your job now. And I'm not saying don't start stealing now. That's not what I'm saying.
No, we don't want no one to do that.
Well, I'm saying, just look at what you can use, what skill set you already have, who's there that's valuable to whatever you're gonna do in your 5 to 9, and just brainstorm and start using that stuff. I have several people now that I work with in my 9 to 5 that are starting businesses. So we always share information because we need each other. That's what the book is
We
talking about.
do. We
We
do.
need each other, whether it's relationships, your mama, whatever. We need each other. Find somebody you can build with and do that. Find a mentor. Like you have a mentor, I have one as well. Find you a mentor that's willing to
Mentors
share.
are good. I'm gonna just say, within the entertainment industry, I was not lucky to find. I had to learn everything through error and trial. Like, it
Okay.
wasn't a lot of people that was really helpful. Like when I got into booking, so when I talk to different individuals that reach out to me that want to get into booking or management, I always give them helpful information to, whether you are, starting your LLC or just getting your business together. I always try to give someone help, because a lot of people really, you be lost, so it takes you a little bit longer. But
Right.
other than that, you guys, you can catch us. Oh, quick question. I can't let you go. I got to give you this video right quick. Tell me your
Okay.
perspective on this video. It's from Queen Sharad Razid Ali,
Okay.
and she talks about relationship. I want your perspective, and the viewers, y'all watching, give me your perspective on it.
Into definition. Who told us that was cheating? Where did that idea come from that that's cheating? A man who has 2 women, that's not necessarily a mistress. That's just his other woman. Now we got 2 choices. We can be the woman or the other woman. We don't have but those two. And I'm not saying that a lot of men are not just running around. I'm not talking about that. But if a woman finds out that her man has been with a woman while she's been with him for 3 or 4 or 5 years, that's commitment
Okay.
and relationship. And if it hasn't taken anything from me, if I'm not going short of anything, and if this is what he thinks his responsibility is, then what kind of hell are you going to go through to prevent that? Since we cannot stop him. Now, I know we don't like that. I don't like that.
In our religion.
Whose religion? Whose morals? So whose idea are you representing when you stand up for those values? Not ours. Somebody else's. And it may work for them. But it doesn't work for us. It hasn't worked for anybody, really, but nobody wants to deal with the truth. Monogamy was only created because of the economics of it.
Okay.
First of all,
Give
I
me.
love her. I love that
So
clip.
you know her.
Yeah, I'm familiar with a lot of her work. That's a powerful sister. I love her. I really do.
Okay.
Um, now, I think you have to do whatever is good for you, and you have to be really honest with yourself. Um, and I know a couple different people who are actually in a polyamorous relationship, and it
Poly's
works well.
after me.
And it works well.
Right. I
So
know people that's doing it say it works well for
it
them,
works well for
and
them,
and they're
especially, and
strong
they
with
actually
it.
even grow their own food. I mean, they're in it. But I'm a Scorpio. I will bust your head down to the white
I'm
meat.
a
I'm
Libra. It
jealous,
ain't happening.
and so
Y-
I'm like,
Be
look,
honest with me. Be honest. I think give women a choice to choose, so you can't
yeah,
play the victim. Give
yeah,
me a choice. If I choose to stay, then I can't play the victim. But if you're
right.
not giving me a choice and you hiding it, you
Yeah,
you
but
can
I
go
really
ahead.
do like I like the idea of being honest with ourselves and compassionate enough with if you're gonna be in a relationship with somebody that's a black man, especially a black man from the South, you have to learn that a lot of his sexual behavior has to do with slavery in his DNA and not that because he's a hoe, even if he tell you that he a hoe.
Yeah.
And what happens
But
is
guess what though? Quick question, Troya. I
okay,
would rather a man tell me he wants to be out there hoeing or having a good time than hiding it. Be
I agree.
transparent.
I agree.
with me, be transparent, because I think transparent is the wave, is the key. That way no one can play victim. You're giving the other person a choice to either stay and put up with it, maybe if the poly works, or you can be out.
Right, to stay or leave. But what happens, it really is deeply ingrained in your DNA, and well, in their DNA, from book making and book breaking. But what I actually, and I mean, I learned that that's just real. And I learned that looking for my lineage of the bishops, if your last name is Bishop and you are from Alabama and you're from Tuscaloosa County, you were a book. And so were the Smiths and the Johnsons, and that's what they did for generations. That's what they did. That's what their daddy did, they grand, and that's just, it's just real. And so that behavior is ingrained, and they have to unlearn it. And you know who really made me start looking at that? Men who were sleeping with prostitutes when I was doing outreach in Vine City. And I'm like, okay, I have to disclose to you that X, Y, and Z person has HIV. You are directly putting yourself at risk. Now, I know it's great for you to hear somebody tell you that they were only going to charge you $2 for head. But street value for $2 head means that she have HIV.
As y'all see,
So,
we unfiltered.
You know, and we would teach the women how to bathe and how to do different things, make sure they were taking their medication, and give them clean syringes when they were, you know, shooting up, all kinds of stuff. But what men were saying is that they didn't understand why. And some of these men had a bad wife. I mean, make more money than them, driving a Mercedes.
But we both know that regardless how pretty you are, how much money you got, you could be the best wife, the best girlfriend, cooking, bringing home money, being a business partner within the relationship, and a loving partner. And some men will still step out, you know, and in their mind, they may feel like they're not doing anything wrong, you know. So
it's trauma.
It's
trauma is real, and we have to get down to the bottom of it.
Got to. Well, listen, thank you for gracing my platform, The Answers to Intimacy.
Thank you for
name all
having
your
me.
books, because you've been doing so much stuff. Let everybody know where they can find you at. Go
They're
ahead,
on the
run.
website. The Answers to Racism, The Answers to Intimacy. Life doesn't have to be perfect to be wonderful. It's all on the website. The Answers to Racism, spelled out, theanswerstoracism.com. You can buy them directly, or, you know, Amazon, other places where books are sold. I love y'all. Thank you for the support.
Thank you. And listen, we're gonna get in contact, because I'm gonna connect you with Original. Other than that, you guys, thank you for gracing.
Awesome.
I know you gotta leave out, Troya. Y'all can catch us back here next Thursday. And if you would love to be interviewed by me and you are an entrepreneur, send me an email at unfilteredwithfaithadorne@gmail.com. I'm gonna actually put that in the link also. And again, every Thursday at 9 p.m. If you are an artist, I have a segment where I'm the hottest and I have next up. If you're an artist and you want to freestyle, hit me up at Unfiltered with Faith Adorne show. We can get you an exclusive interview. And other than that, thank you. Enjoy your weekend. You have been Unfiltered with Faith Adorne. See you here next week, Thursday at 9 p.m. And thank you for watching the show tonight. If you guys want to, if anybody wants to, again, send me an email, Unfiltered with Faith Adorne show. I hope you guys appreciate the show tonight. We appreciated you guys. If you have any questions, as you see, Troya is an author. Hit her up on Instagram. Hit her up on Facebook. And other than that, thank you for watching. Thank you for watching Unfiltered with Faith Adorne tonight, and we hope you enjoyed the episode. Check back every Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time for new content, resources, and interviews. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for your views, so we appreciate you watching. Also, quick disclaimer, all of our guests have an opportunity to voice their opinion and give their perspectives on all of our topics. It's not saying it's right, it's not saying it's wrong, but we respect everybody's opinion. And the cool thing is you can join in with the conversation, regardless where you are around the world. If you would like to be a part of our online audience for any of our upcoming topics, send us an email. Are you an entrepreneur, an artist, a talent, or CEO? Do you have a testimony you would like to share? Or how about submitting an unfiltered spicy topic?
Or what about a crazy confession? Send us an email at unfilteredwithfaithadorne@gmail.com. Look at the video. There's an email address right there. unfilteredwithfaithadorne@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you. Check back every Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. We stream live. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and Instagram. And subscribe to our YouTube channel, you guys. You will never miss a video at Unfiltered with Faith Adorne. See you soon. Enjoy your weekend. Thanks for watching.